Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bringing you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. My name is Krishna and joining me, as always, is Mr. Bill Cupush. Bill, how's it going?
It's going. It's a beautiful day. Sunny, nice temperature, great
Hmm.
walking weather. What the hell do we have to complain about today? Seriously. We have wrestling tonight. We have, like I just got through saying, great weather. I don't have a cup of coffee in front of me. I mean, if there's is that there's a complaint. So, but that's it. That's the only thing I can even think of that was bad today. So, yep. How are you doing?
I'm with you. Yesterday was so hot. Like I on my way to work, like I was sweating and I hate it. I hated it. And this morning I was like, oh man, it's gonna be the same thing. And then I woke up, I'm like, wow, you know, it's kind of nice right now. Well, it's not too hot. I went outside. I'm like, ooh, I like that breeze. And then yeah, the afternoon was great. Like it was nice and it wasn't like the humidity wasn't there and it was really nice. So yeah, nice day in the city today.
Yes, beautiful day here. Apparently, it's very hot out west. I don't know what the temperature's like though in Saskatoon, but that will become relevant in a moment, of course. But yeah, we are here tonight to talk about AEW Dynamite here on One Winged Wrestling. This is our Dynamite show. We will be, as always, predicting the show and then going off and reviewing the show. We'll be looking at the matches, figuring out which ones we think can be good, which ones might be just matches. And of course, as always, looking for the all important Omega levels because sometimes they do happen on Dynamite. But a quick note before we get into Dynamite this evening, Krishna. Brian Pillman Jr. no longer with AEW.
Ooh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's it kind of sucks actually. I like Brian Pillman Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He had that fire like his dad in him. Um, uh, him. I liked him in what's that guy's name? I'm forgetting his name right now. Griff Garrison.
Yes.
I like them together as the Varsity Blondes, but I guess since they lost Julia, they
And then
haven't
lost
really.
the word varsity.
Yeah, and they lost the word right, which makes these are the dumbest things I've. Anyways,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, that kind of sucks. I mean, yes, the again, AEW has a bloated roster. They really do,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, this is gonna happen. I mean, what's his name? Fuego left recently,
Yep.
right? And now Brian Pillman Jr. That
Yep. Joins a parade of wrestlers that we enjoyed watching, like
hmm,
Joey Janela.
the originals,
Right.
eh?
Yeah,
The
Jack
originals are just
Evans. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
that
Yeah.
kind of
They're
sucks.
just yeah, it does. It does. They're just kind of slowly making their way out. And
Yeah.
his contract expired. He's going to go on to bigger and better things. I can think of one company that might treat him very well. To be quite honest with you, due to his last name.
Yeah.
Um, so you never know. We will see what happens to him, but seriously, great things. Maybe we'll see you on the indie circuit. You never
Yeah.
know.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Yes, that would be kind of great. But that brings us to tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite, which is coming to us from the SaskTel Center in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. There's a mouthful for you.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
SaskTel Center in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I have a little trivia note for you for this
Mhm.
particular arena, courtesy of one Steve Argentar. Sorry, Steve, if I got your last name wrong. I never know whether the G is soft or hard. But you and I both have met Steve before. He's of Smash Wrestling fame, the gentleman who also works for TSN.
Okay.
He tweeted today this trivia note on this center. This is where Bret Hart won his first WWF championship ever, beating Ric Flair on October the 12th, 1992.
Okay.
So there you go. A note from history on the SaskTel Center in Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay. Well, and beating Ric Flair, that's pretty cool. I
Yep,
mean, oh wow, okay.
exactly. So there you go. Well, we've got one, two, three, four, five matches tonight. And we have one or two segments. I don't know if this will all be one segment, probably,
Mhm.
or if it's being divided into two segments, but we will find out. But we'll start with the matches. I think the segment will be probably a little more discussion. We have the Blind Eliminator Tag Tournament semifinals tonight, both matches. The first match features Orange Cassidy. So it is the semifinals. These were the smallest brackets ever. Semifinals, Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin are taking on Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia.
Um, yeah, this is gonna be a good match. Um, oh man, I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna place this out of five. You know what? I'm going to say I'm gonna give this number two on my list. I think it's gonna like these guys are great, all of them. I looking at this, I'm like, I hope Garcia and Guevara win, but I kind of feel they're gonna lose here. So it's gonna be a great match, but I gotta give it number two.
Yeah, it's this is going to be amazing. It could steal number one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on number two,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, these four guys in a
Yep.
ring, holy crap. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's all I have to say. Holy crap. Orange Cassidy, Darby. Oh my God. And Orange Cassidy just tweet. He responded to the tweet about this match that AEW sent out with, "Oh, tonight, cool."
Mm-hmm. He's so
So
awesome.
he's so amazing. So yeah, the yeah, this match is going to be something else. All four of these guys can go like crazy. Yeah, but two. Hmm. Then we have the other semifinal, MJF and Adam Cole taking on Brian Cage and Big Bill.
And this match can easily steal two, even one maybe, but I'm giving it number three. I think I like both these teams, like
Mm-hmm.
MJF and Adam Cole. I like the comedy. Brian Cage and Big Bill. I just like the two Goliaths, right? Like they wrestle so
Yeah.
well together. It's gonna be a great match, but I'm giving it number three.
I'm also giving it number three, and I think it's going to be fun. I think that Adam Cole is going to absorb a hell of a lot of
Mm-hmm.
punishment. MJF's going to stay the hell out of the ring for as long as possible. Um, and are we going to see the double clothesline?
I hope so. No, 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 no. That's left for the finals.
Yes.
That's
So
what
are
goes
we?
to have to win. Yeah.
Yep. So who's winning these two matches? What are the
Oh,
finals for this
I'm
tournament?
thinking so if MJF and Adam Cole win, because I kind of feel MJF and Adam Cole are definitely winning, then you'd want them to face off against, oh my goodness, who would it be? Darby and Orange Cassidy? No, Garcia and you know what? Then I'm gonna go Garcia and Guevara. I'm saying
I'm going
they're
to
gonna
go
win.
opposite of you. I'm going Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus MJF and Adam Cole.
Okay, okay, all
Yep.
right.
But we shall see. I think that actually sets up one hell of a match.
Mhm.
I think that it still keeps MJF and Adam Cole slightly on the heel side of things, where
Mhm.
they kind of belong when they're together, even though it's comedy gold and they're trying to be good guys a little bit, but they're still healing it up quite a bit. So, and I think too, the comedy you could have in that match with
Yeah,
Orange Cassidy and those two guys could also
hilarious.
be very good. So yeah, no, I'm gonna go that way. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We have the Owen Hart Tournament Foundation, the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament women's semifinals tonight. We have Ruby Soho taking on Sky Blue.
This match is gonna be either 4 or 5 for me. I think, like, I like Ruby, I like Skye. She's been doing a lot better, but are they gonna be doing better than the other match? I think is gonna be either 4 or 5, right? I don't know. So, oof, oof. You know what? I'm gonna just say 5 for this one. I'm just gonna give it a 5. It can be easily the 4 or even move up based on the match they have, but it's gonna be a good match. I think Ruby's winning. I think my actually now that I'm looking at maybe Ruby wins this entire tournament, right? But like I think Ruby's winning. But who knows? This guy's been getting a great push, right? Maybe Tony
Yep.
sees something in her. Maybe he says like, "Hey, maybe you're gonna be the winner." But I just all the matches, I'm gonna say 5, and that doesn't mean that it's bad in any way. Just
Yep.
I think out of 5, it's gonna be the fifth best.
Yeah, I think the match is going to be fine. I think it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
like a good match.
Mm-hmm.
It's also going to be five for me, but I also think that's because it's going to be won through Bullet Club style shenanigans.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't mean Bullet Club Gold. I mean like OG Bullet Club
Bullet Club.
shenanigans, like House of Torture shenanigans. Okay, that's how Ruby won last week. It's how she'll win this week. Constant shenanigans from her helpers. So yeah, so I think that sets up who's in the other semifinal.
Um, who is it? Who won on the women's side? It was wait,
It's pretty bad that we can't remember.
it wasn't Sheeta, right? No,
She'd
Sheeta
have,
just
she'd have
faced.
won her match.
Yeah, but she faced off against who was it? She won her match, but was it an Owen Hart
I don't think
match?
they.
I could.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure it
so
was.
then Sheeta won. So Sheeta, who's Sheeta gonna face? I don't. I have no clue about the brackets.
I know, right? Anyway, well, we'll move on and we'll figure this out before
Mhm.
and much goes by because you might have a lot to say about the next match. Swerve Strickland taking on Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne making his AEW debut.
So here's the thing. This is gonna be, I think, the number one match tonight, the match of the night, right? Nick Wayne, Swerve, they're gonna steal the show. Question is, who wins this match? And how do they win this match, right? You
Hmm.
can't bring Nick Wayne in here, all the hype, everything, and have him lose the match. But
Right,
Swerve, like he lost last week or the week before. He's gonna lose again, so he's just gonna keep losing matches. Like again, it doesn't hurt him in any way. This
right.
might have actually started a feud between the two of them, right? Which heck, I'm there for. I just hope that Nick Wayne isn't gonna suddenly be a friend with Keith Lee because then put me to sleep because I don't care about that. But like, yeah, no, I think Nick Wayne has to win tonight,
Hmm.
right? But how is he gonna win? Is it gonna be out of disqualification because Swerve and his gang end up like because he's about to beat Swerve and his gang interfere, right? Or does he beat him cleanly? Like I don't know, but I'm thinking that Wayne has to win tonight. He has to.
Yes, he will, and he'll
Yeah.
win clean in the middle of the ring.
Okay.
There's not going to be any like, nothing. He is going to beat Swerve Strickland clean in the middle of the ring because Swerve does not win matches anymore.
I know. I
And
know.
that is essentially his job.
Yeah.
But I think there will be attempted shenanigans from the Mogul affiliates, and I think they will be cleaned out by Keith Lee and Darby Allin.
Mm, mm.
Darby Allin
Okay.
there to defend his boy.
Oh
Makes
yeah, that's
sense.
right. That's
Makes sense,
right.
right?
That's
Maybe
right.
we see
Okay.
Sting. You
Oh,
never
maybe.
know. But yeah, maybe Nick Wayne ends up hanging out with Sting and Darby Allin. It would make sense story wise, but
Yeah, it would. It definitely would. I think they're building that since they had that promo last week with Darby,
mhm.
right? So he's gonna be with Darby.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it makes sense. I think it's a good fit for him because it's the kind of stable where it's like you still go your own way, do your own thing, fight on your own 2 feet, but we're here to have your back if you need it.
Yep.
Right.
He's gonna be part of Darby's stable, whatever it's called,
You know,
until he turns on Darby Allin.
Nick
Dun,
Wayne as a
dun,
heel, I think that's going to
dun.
take time.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. But when that turn happens, or Darby turns on him,
Yeah.
whichever like that, I don't know what's gonna be bigger, right? So
Yeah.
we'll
You,
see.
you you heard it here, folks. Krishna Denai is the master of the heel
The
turn
heel turn.
speculation. Everyone turns.
I'm part of the AEW heels. That's what
Yes.
I'm
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna see the epic heel there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this match. This will be
Mhm.
my probably the number one match on the show. Swerve and Wayne can go at it. Nick
Yeah.
Wayne, for people who haven't seen him, he's amazing. I saw his match with Will Ospreay last year, and
Mhm.
it was phenomenal. So yeah, this kid can go. Against Swerve Strickland, they have a long-standing history. The chemistry's there already, so no worries about that. It's another reason why I think he's facing Swerve because they fought so many times in the past.
Yeah.
So they can do what they do on the big stage this time. And that leads us to Komander taking on Chris Jericho.
Well, I mean, process of elimination. This is game number 4 match.
Yes.
Um, I'm hoping for good things. You know what? In my head, I close my eyes and I think about Bandito versus Jericho, right? And I
Yeah.
remember that match, and I remember how much Bandito impressed the heck out of me, and he still continues to. So get well soon, Bandito. Um, Komander is a mixed bag for me, and I mean that in terms of like, I think he's good. I just feel like his rope running gimmick, okay, gets a little annoying sometimes when he does it over and over and over. Now, I am basing that on one match that he ran around the ropes. That's all he did. So I'm hoping, and that was a Sammy Guevara match, and I'm hoping he doesn't do that too much. I'm hoping he actually goes out there. He gives Jericho like a run for his money.
No pun
Again,
intended.
no, yeah, no pun intended. But I mean, like, like again, I'm basing this on the Bandito Jericho match and how fantastic that match was, right? We weren't
Mhm.
expecting what we got from that match, and well, I wasn't expecting it. And I loved it. So I'm hoping something similar. So I'm slotting it number 4. Who knows what can happen here?
Yep.
Who knows, right?
Yep. Because this match could be great.
Yeah.
And it might not be. It just
Yes.
depends. See, Komander is young. He's really young. He's like 24 or something, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
so yeah, he's a young guy. He's still, cutting his lucha teeth in a way. So he's I think the match against Sammy Guevara, they put it together a certain way. He's putting together a match with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is a master of in-ring psychology, right? He knows how to build moves in the ring. He knows like
True.
when to put the rope run in, don't overuse a move, blah, 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 right? And he'll be the one calling the shots in this match, 100%. So I don't think we're going to see too much rope running from Komander tonight. We'll get his one big spot, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Or Jericho will be thwarting him constantly to stop the spot, right? And then he'll finally hit it.
And the thing is, like, we don't even know what Jericho's doing right now. Like, is he face? Is he heel? Is the um Jericho Appreciation Society even together anymore? Right? Like what's gonna
Right.
happen here? Like, I don't know anymore since
Is he
we've
going to
entered
be
Canada.
the yeah, exactly. It is kind of strange. So I guess we'll find out a little more tonight. But
We will.
yeah, I think Jericho is going to beat Komander because I think they're building him up right now, but it's going
Hmm.
to be a good match and my number 4 match. I mean, there's nothing bad on this card. Everything on this card looks solid. So
Yeah.
but that brings us to Le Pièce de Resistance. The Elite and the Blackpool
Hmm.
Combat Club will each be revealing their fifth for Blood and Guts.
You know, smart move. I'm gonna say that right off the top. Smart move. None of this like, oh my God, who's it gonna be? Let the big reveals happen at the thing. AEW is hurting a little bit right now from what I've been hearing from some of the collision sales and stuff like that. So they can use some positivity here. So I'm looking forward to this. Obviously, I'm wondering if they're leaving this to last. Maybe they're probably gonna leave it to last, right? Because they did close off one time with Danielson and stuff like that when he called it a kata, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm hoping that obviously I'm again predictions now. Ibushi is obviously going to be the person for the elite. Um, I'm gonna go wild here. Now, it's not. I actually do want it to be CM Punk, but it's already confirmed it's not gonna be CM Punk.
Yeah, Meltzer
So
said no, not a chance.
this is where I'm like, I'm a little. I don't know. Like, so if I look through the roster
Mm-hmm.
and I think about people who can join because Danielson's gone, who hate the elites, who can join, do you think it would be someone from like the what's it called? I mean, this would be anti-climatic, I guess, if it was someone from it's called the Dark Order, right? Because they're like, oh, it's just someone from the Dark Order.
So
Yeah,
you've never seen Evil Uno in a match like this before, then I'm guessing.
I have not.
Okay,
No,
the dude
but
can
then
go.
I feel like no, but I feel like even if they were to choose someone from Dark Order, they're choosing John Silver. He's the face of the Dark Order, right?
Evil Uno's the one who has it really in for Hangman.
True. I would say Alex Reynolds. That guy, like
True.
right?
But Hangman's also the one with the hardcore match experience, I think, over the other
Who would they pick? Okay, now I'm just stumped because the Blackpool Combat Club, like they just a bunch of renegades. Like they're a bunch of just like hitmen, right? Like they who are their friends? Who? Oh, sorry. Maybe I should go back to who hate the elite. Wait, do you think it will be Jericho? Like, do you think Jericho is gonna be the one recruited for it? Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Then I
I'll
think
tell
it's
you straight up,
obvious.
my pick is Jericho.
Jericho.
My dark horse pick is Samoa Joe.
Oh my goodness. I don't think it'll be Samoa Joe.
That's my dark horse.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with you, Jericho as well.
Hmm.
Dark horse pick, Pac.
Ooh, I like that. I like that because he does have it in for the elite. That would
He
be
does.
a very cool return for Pac, to tell you
Yep.
the truth. Yeah, that would be very cool. I now yeah. See, Jericho's fine,
Yeah, he's okay.
fine. He can do this stuff. It's fine, you know, but it's not. If it's Joe or Pac or someone like that, I'll be like, oh man, this is gonna get cool fast.
What if Don Callis brings in someone? Who could Don Callis bring in from Japan or something like that? Who do you think?
From Japan.
Or anywhere. Remember, he's building his family.
Right. Now, this would depend on something because someone made a very good point. I saw
Mm.
today. I can't remember who it was, but someone made a very good point. AEW has not teased, mentioned, brought up, or anything a certain person that Kenny keeps trying to name drop. Right. There has been total silence from AEW on this. Right. So don't be disappointed
If
if
it's
it's
not Kota.
not
Yeah.
him because
Yeah.
AEW has not dropped a single hint, not
True.
one.
True.
It's only been Kenny and it's only been outside of an actual official program. You know, it's none of his hints other than I went to Japan were
Yeah.
ever done on an official program,
True. True. Hmm.
which means it may not be Kota Ibushi. It could be anybody from Japan.
That's true. This is true, but I feel like it's Kota Ibushi.
It's Filthy Tom
Um.
Lawler.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if can you imagine if like it's like, oh, okay.
If it's not Kota Ibushi, are we getting booze?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. We're getting unless it's someone that we're not even thinking. Someone from left field and we're like, "Holy crap, that's pretty awesome," right? Then you're getting booze. You're definitely getting booze, right? Um yeah, and it's someone from Japan. Ooh, this is a tough one because you're right. Kenny's the one dropping Kota Ibushi. I do think it's Kota Ibushi, but who's like I don't know. I don't know. This is what it's like. What do you? So you think? I think this is gonna come on last. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's gonna be if it comes on last, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna
Yep.
be something really big. If it comes on like first, you're like, okay, well, I guess probably it's the Gun Club or someone like that, right? So the, the elite have recruited Michael Nakazawa and the Blackpool Combat Club
Brandon
have
Cutler. They have him sitting right
Brandon
there.
Color. You're right. You're definitely right. And the Blackpool Combat Club got who would they have got to fight? I don't know, like Trent Beretta or something like that, which would be awesome. But I mean, like, I get confused. I'm like, why are there two John Moxleys in the ring together? Like they look alike.
Did you think Utami Hayashishita could come into this match at the last minute on the Blackpool Combat
But
Club
then
side?
you'd have to have someone on the elite side. So is it Riho gonna join? He went
No,
to
you can have.
Japan.
She can beat up guys.
Yeah,
She's tougher than most of the guys on the
so
roster.
Riho and Hayashita on the other
Great,
side.
I'm down.
There you go. There you
Of
go.
course, I doubt that'll happen because I'm pretty sure Stardom and who does Riho work for? Wave. It's one, but I'm not so sure that they would be super
Happy about
happy
that.
with their wrestlers going at each other.
True. True.
Hmm.
Yeah. No. See.
Which
This
is
is
why
one
it
of
won't
the.
be anyone from New Japan if it's Kota Ibushi.
Yeah. That's weird because it's weird because it's like this is one of the almost the most obvious things that we know is gonna
Hmm.
happen, but also it could turn out to be one of the worst things in the entire world.
Which
We
might
could
be why
have
they're
we could
announcing it a week in advance.
yeah we could have Satnam Singh
I
show up
know, I
on
know.
the
It could be
Blackpool Combat
that,
Club side.
but I'm going for Chris Jericho and Kota Ibushi. I do think it's Ibushi, even though I'm like trying to cast little doubts and aspersions on it. I still think it's Ibushi because nothing
Has to
else
be.
fits.
It has to be
It
Bushi.
has to be. But if that's the case, he's totally turning on him because he's secretly part of Don. I'm pulling a Krishna now. Like it's the heel
That's
turn time, man. It's
it
just heel
has
turn.
it has to be. This
Yep.
is how you end it.
Yep.
Remember, they said this is ending it.
Yes.
Blackpool Combat Club is beating up the elite because
Of Kota
right
Ibushi. Yep.
of Kota Ibushi, and
Yep.
that carries on. Oh my God, Takeshita and Kota Ibushi. Oh my God, those two assassins together.
Yep.
Like you can have them just take out the elite,
Hmm.
and teach Kenny where his real family is.
Can they
Oh,
can they go take the tag team titles at the same time? Because that would be pretty awesome.
tag team titles. What are those?
Oh
Those
yeah.
things in AEW? Like I don't know.
Do we have a trios championship anymore?
I don't know where the Blackpool Combat Club. Like, did they defend it on Collision? Like,
I don't
were they
know.
on Collision this week? No, they weren't.
No, they weren't anywhere this week.
What's the point of
Anyway,
having titles? I'm so confused. Like MJF is wrestling more than Blackpool Combat Club right now.
I know.
Think about that.
MJF's wrestling more than like House of
Like,
Black.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, sorry, I meant House of Black.
Yes.
You're right. Like, 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 think about that. He's
Yeah.
wrestling more than that. Heck, MJF is wrestling more than like I think the elites are at the moment, right? So let's be real. So
Yep.
I don't know, man. This is like very odd things that are happening, but for the betterment of the storylines, I'm just hoping Bushi and he turns
Yep.
and
Be
now
pretty
Kenny
great.
has no family.
Except Chris Jericho.
He has nobody, nobody. Chris Jericho with the Blackpool Combat Club are just gonna look weird together. I don't know why.
Yeah, they kind of will. Yeah, I mean Jericho
And
and John
Mox,
Moxley. I'm like,
yeah.
anyway, we shall see though. But it is time for us to go watch the show, and we will be back after to give our review, see if anything reached that Omega level. But for now, we are off. But to all of you, it will seem like we were never gone. And that was Dynamite, which came to us tonight from the SaskTel Center in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. And Tony Taz and Excalibur on commentary. And we open things off with Komander taking on Chris Jericho. Jericho still has his JAS entrance at this point. Komander comes out with Alex Abrahantes, which made me think, does this mean he's aligned with the Lucha Bros? So
I don't know.
anyway, he also had to win over the crowd that was solidly behind Jericho at the start. This crowd also forgot it was 2023 and not 1999 when they started a Y2J chant. But Jericho turned them around very nicely in the commercial break when he started giving the crowd the fingers and reacting to Winnipeg sucks chants. And Jericho really wrestled this match in a very slow heel style, being very methodical, slow, stuff like that. And it really allowed Komander's Flash to show a lot more in the match. Point of interest, you notice they never mentioned WCW by name. It's always back in the day or right
Yeah.
here on this
Yep.
station, or they never say WCW. But Komander came out early with some lucha things, including a rope jump hurricane run and a tornado to the outside. But Jericho caught him with a forearm, countering a dive from the top, and took over, beating Komander down with chops, a brainbuster. He had a nice hip toss over the top rope when Komander tried to counter, allowing Jericho to beat him outside the ring for a bit. A couple big moves in the ring. I mean, Komander then had a flurry of near falls with pinning combinations. He had his rope walk shooting star press, his greatest hits, but done well. Rope walk standing moonsault to the floor, springboards Phoenix splash. The end came when Jericho caught Komander's Dragon Run attempt, though, into the Lion Tamer for the submission victory.
Yeah. No, this match was fine. I mean, I like this match. It was fun. You're right. It was a little bit slow at first. But really Jericho fought slow to let Komander shine.
Mm-hmm.
Komander had some really cool spots. The ones that there were, I don't know if they were misses or missed timings at some point. When Komander tried to do the Phoenix splash, I'm like, did he hit Jericho? Because Jericho's arm kind of came up as if he was gonna catch him, but the angle didn't show you him hitting properly. But I could imagine what the other angle showed. If that angle didn't show it, I don't know what the other angle showed. And then the obviously the code breaker reversal. Again, that's the time. It's just it was good. I mean, just look a little off, right? Little off. That was about it. But overall, the match itself was fine. I actually thought it was pretty good. Like Komander again, he was great in this match. Timing aside, like remember, I went in hoping for a Bandito Jericho match because that match was amazing. This match was good. This match was good, but I mean, at the end, it still kind of fell into my number 4 match of the night. So
Right.
overall, number 4 for me.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it also falls in the number 4 spot.
Mhm.
Yeah, it stayed there. Good match.
Good
I
match,
enjoyed
yeah,
it.
nothing
I,
bad.
I, you know, Jericho is such a good ring
He is.
psychologist. He
He
really
is.
is. Like the way he turned that crowd around, it was just,
Hmm.
it's. I mean, it's heel 101, but it's heel 101 in a master class. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like they were so behind him when that match started. They were booing Komander. They were on it. By the end of the match, they were all cheering Komander and hating Jericho.
Yeah.
So it was pretty great. Like he turned that whole crowd around. Of course, it's not difficult when they all hate Winnipeg and in Saskatoon, but I keep wanting to call it Regina, which would just make them hate me. So I don't know why I keep thinking they're in Regina. We're already in Regina, Bill. This is Saskatoon. I had a buddy once though who used to say that Saskatoon's the place that you go if you want absolutely nothing to happen to you at all. But that was because he loved going there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he actually enjoyed vacationing in Saskatoon
Okay.
for that
Hey,
reason. He's like, it's very
each their
quiet.
own.
Yeah. But anyway, Don Callis comes out immediately after the match to his industrial fan noise. He says the wrestling world's buzzing with the possibility of Jericho, the greatest of all time, joining the Don Callis family. He reminds Jericho they were part of a faction together 28 years ago, led by Bad News Allin, and he rolls a clip of the Thrill Seekers. And Jericho says, Bad News told me back then, you and I, we always have to stay together. And Callis's Bad News is up there in heaven with a smile on his face at the prospect of us being together. No pressure, but you know in your heart what the answer should be. And he leaves.
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
was,
it was an okay little promo here, if that's what you want to call it. It was funny or fun to watch. Like Jericho looks like, even though that was Jericho like 20 something years ago, he kind of doesn't look totally different. He looks like Chris Jericho, so good on him. He looks great.
yep.
Don Callis looks just like this Don Callis with long hair. Like I saw him, I was like, oh, look at that, it's Don Callis. But yeah, no, it was kind of cool. I like how they're trying, like he's trying to lure him in, going back saying this is what we need to do. It would be interesting if these two joined forces, but we'll see where this goes. We'll see where this
Yeah.
goes. So,
Yeah, I mean it could go anywhere.
mhm.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I just like the clip. So
Yeah.
yeah, they left us with another maybe, but just in a different style as Don has to continue to try to convince Jericho to join him. We then get the Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Hook recap because Alex Marvez is trying to find out when and where Jack will face Hook, and he's outside Jack Perry's car. Jack won't get out of the car. So he gets him to roll down the window. He says, so when are you going to face him? He's like, listen, this is an unsafe work environment. This is supposed to happen in the ring, not a parking lot. But Hook climbs in the other car door because I guess they left the door open. But then Jack has trouble getting out and he's like, damn, child locks. But he gets out and gets away.
Yeah, I laughed. I laughed at this. Like when he said, "Oh, damn, child locks," and he opened the door, I was like, "Oh my god, that was actually funny." Like
Yep.
watching this Jack Perry is he's slowly turning into the total opposite of what Jungle Boy was. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of funny. I'm actually laughing at, and then he slams the door on Hook, and Hook can't open the door properly either. I was
Yes.
like, "Oh my
It
god,
was damn child
child
locks.
locks." So so yeah, no, I was okay with this. It's just
Yeah.
see what, and then Hook spoke.
Oh, he did.
Hmm.
Very briefly. He said something
Yep.
like, someday I'll get you
I'll
or
get
something.
you. Yeah, but keep running, Perry, or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
keep running, Perry.
Yeah,
I'll get you.
yeah,
Something like that. I don't
yeah.
know. It was tough guy
But
speak
he
anyway.
spoke,
He
and it was very
spoke.
brief, and I was like, oh,
Yes.
okay,
Hook
okay.
has a voice.
Yes, he does.
Yes. Well, then we get Renee with Don Callis, and Renee says, "Do we big news for the Don Callis family? What's your reaction?" Don Callis is like, "Well, Jericho's great, but let's talk about announcements. I'm going to go out by myself later and announce the fifth member for the Blackpool Combat Club in Blood and Guts." And Renee's like, "Aren't you worried Kenny's going to show up going out by yourself?" He goes, "Nah, he's a gutless coward that betrayed my family. He'll be hiding behind the skirts of the Young Bucks."
I love Don Callis.
Tell me where he's telling lies.
Yeah. Tell me where he's going. Like, I love Don Callis. Like
Yes.
this is great. Like we'll talk about it at the end when we get there, but this is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving it, and I'm eating all of this up. I love it.
Yeah, it was very good. Yep, exactly. Hiding behind the skirts of the Young
Mm.
Bucks. That's right. That's right. Then we get MJF and Adam Cole team bonding, and MJF calls him out while they're at a bar, and MJF calls him out for not wearing the shirt, and they argue a little bit until four women come out. Four women that you and I have seen in wrestling rings
I
very recently.
I
Yep.
yes, I picked that up very quickly.
Silesia Sparks, Taylor
Hmm.
Rising, Casey Spinelli, and Alexia Nicole.
Hmm.
Um, Cole says, no, because he goes, nah, I don't really want to go with you or anything. I really care about Britt. So MJF leaves with all four and comes back and claims, of course, he slept with them. Cole confesses that he never lost the shirt. He says to him, look, I never lost the shirt, but I'll put it on if we do what I want to do next. So MJF's like, okay, fine. And Cole has him play Fight Forever with him. And MJF's like, there's no way I'm playing video games like some weebo virgin nerd. but he does. And when he finds out he's in the game and his stats are pretty good, he plays. And he goes, "It's more fun to play when I have a buddy with me." Cole says, "What, you never played multiplayer?" MJF's like, "You need friends for that." So Cole pauses the game and he says, "Well, we were forced to be a tag team. I had every intention of blindsiding you." And MJF's like, "Me too." But Cole's like, "You're pretty cool, man." MJF, "You mean that?" "Yeah." MJF's like, "So let's win the title because we're better than you." And Cole says, "Baby." And then they win the tag titles on Fight Forever.
I think this is fantastic. I am eating up this sports entertainment that's happening here with these two. I don't even know where I want this to go. I actually just want them to stick together and win the belts and then continue on. Because like MGF with that with Cole, like they're just they're kind of like an odd couple but not at the same time, right? Like MGF obviously fully playing up this stupid thing. Like, you know what's happening. Because you're right, he wants to keep Cole away from the heavyweight championship. So he's doing everything he can, but I'm loving every second. These promos have been great. These have been fun. And it's like they're making at one point when MGF was like, you'd have to have friends to play these games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Cole starts feeling bad for him. Part of me was like, are they trying to turn MGF babyface here? Because like he's kind of like in a sleazy way, like turning, but in the back of your head, you're like, okay, this is MJF. Is he's totally trying to play Cole here. So, but again, I I'm loving this. I just want more of it. I like these two together.
The greatest trick the devil ever played was making you think he didn't exist.
Didn't exist. That's right.
Yeah.
That is, but it's so good. I love it. It's so
Yeah,
good.
oh no, I'm having a lot of fun with this too.
Mhm.
What's this, like our two out of the last 3 weeks we've seen Alexia Nicole in a AEW ring or an
Yeah,
AEW show. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. 2 weeks ago we saw.
Yeah,
Yep,
it was
you're
two
right.
weeks ago. Yep. So there you go. Yeah, so no, this was fine. I laughed. I had a good time. Um, cool. And then we go to Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin taking on Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia in the Blind Eliminator Tag Tournament semifinal. Cassidy and Guevara open with Cassidy doing his in the pockets counters until Garcia lays out Cassidy and dances. Darby tags in and he and Sammy shake, and then that's kind of what the story becomes. The story
Mm-hmm.
becomes Sammy trying to
Mm-hmm.
fight him fairly and Garcia constantly interfering to give Sammy the advantage, much to Sammy's chagrin. Pardon me while I
Yep.
tie my tongue up. Sammy hit a super long delayed brainbuster on Darby before both of them worked him over for a while with various holds. Darby built up to the hot tag at last, and Cassidy took it to Garcia, including a Michinoku driver for a near fall. Garcia countered with the Dragon Tamer, but he soon gets hit with a series of moves from both guys, mostly cutter type stuff. Sammy comes for the save, but Sammy disposes of him before Cassidy. Yeah. Sammy comes for the save. Sammy disposes, but Darby disposes of him before Garcia and Cassidy go back and forth with pin combinations and near falls. Sammy and Darby then go at it fast until they collide heads while Cassidy and Garcia brawl at ringside. Now, the brawl at ringside was a setup because Prince Nana comes down, tells
Mm-hmm.
Garcia to nail Cassidy with the skateboard. With the ref distracted, Darby tries to pull the skateboard, but Swerve nails Darby with a kick. Sammy, not really seeing what happened, hits the GTH for the win. Sammy, though, after the match, offers to shake hands with Darby, and Darby kind of reluctantly accepts.
Accepts. Yeah, no, this match is great. I mean, I didn't see this like when Prince Nana came down, I was like, is Garcia gonna join the Mogul affiliates now? Because the Jericho Appreciation Society is probably gonna break up. And when I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing him join them. He's such a because just he's fit in with them. That's why it would work. Um, and then the swerve kick. I'm like, oh my god, it's obviously this is happening. Swerve
Mm-hmm.
comes in for the kick. Yeah, no, this match was great. The problem I'm having here is that I'm just not this Sammy Guevara character. I'm just not into it. I miss Bad Sammy. Like honestly, the most fun I'm having is with Daniel Garcia right now. That's the fun I'm having right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The match was great. The match was these guys are awesome together. Like all four of these guys. Like part of me always wonders if Cassidy's actually hurt a little bit because he fought and he fought a lot, but it almost seems like they're reserving him a little bit. You know what I mean?
I think they're giving him a bit of a break.
Right? Okay, so that because he's fought a lot. You know, the
Yes.
fight forever. Orange Cassidy and John Moxley have been fighting forever. Okay, so no, I gave this my number two spot. I had fun with it. I really did. I
Yeah.
thought it was good. It was this and the other like the other match. Like I was like any one of these could be interchanged, but I said at the end, yeah, I just had some more fun with this match, right?
Yeah.
So I gave it my number two spot.
Yeah, it's my number two spot as well. I really enjoyed it. There was a
Hmm.
lot of good spots in this match. I liked the story that was going on between Darby and Sammy.
Hmm.
Like I said, I'm not sure what they're doing with his character
Yeah,
totally. It's more like
yeah.
Darby's carrying that story. It's like Darby's conveying it better than Sammy.
Hmm.
But I don't hate it. It's not bad. I love Daniel Garcia. He just plays like he's learning too to play that kind of like snake heel
Yep.
really well too. You're right. He would fit in perfectly with,
The
you
mogul
know, the
affiliates.
mogul affiliates,
Yeah.
right? Because he's got that style that suits them. You know, he could still do the dancing and stuff too.
Yeah.
They're allowed to be a little bit ridiculous if they want to be, so that's fine. And you know, maybe we could just form a faction of all the guys that come out with rap music.
That's it. That's exactly what I was thinking as well, right? Because Garcia
Yeah.
comes out, Swerve's all about the rap music, rap scene as well. So why not?
Yep, exactly. Maybe they could finally get Kevin Bennett over here and have him join them.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I
That'd be
know.
cool.
That'd be amazing. Yep. Then we get Renee. No, no, I'm sorry. Whoa, I almost jumped past one of the things I really enjoyed on this show, the Nick Wayne video. He
Mhm.
shows this is like a background video on Nick Wayne for people who may not know him. And it's Nick Wayne. You see him walk into a garage. And he's like, this is the garage where he trained with his dad since age 9. Shows him like crawling in the ring at 6 months old.
Mhm.
And he tells the story of his mom coming in and had him sit on the apron while she told him that his dad passed away. And he said he felt lost. That was his father, his trainer, you know. And so he continues wrestling for his father. He continued the legacy that was left for him by his father. And he says, people ask him, is he ready for AEW? Is he ready for the pressure? And he says he's been ready his whole life since 6 months old.
Yeah. No, this is good. This is a nice video to complement the Darby video from last week.
Yep.
Though, okay, here's my thought. I get it. Nick Wayne's very, very young. Why was the Darby video last week was very, very emotional, more emotional, I think, than this video, even though
Really?
it talked about like this one actually did talk about Wayne's father dying. I just, you know what it is? I think it's because the audience is connected so much with Darby. Like we've had time to
Mm.
go with Darby. That's why we relate to him so much. So listen, when we get to the Wayne match, I want to talk about him a little bit. But yeah, no, I thought this was a great intro of what's to come for Nick Wayne.
We're going to start by talking about the Saskatoon crowd right now.
Okay.
They're the Corpus Christi apparently of Canada. That this tonight was one of the quietest damn
Yeah.
crowds. They weren't
Yeah.
even
It
really
was.
booing Callis.
No.
Callis was able to talk. This
Yeah.
crowd was just like, were they all asleep?
Saskatoon.
Yeah, well, like my friend said, right? Nothing happens in Saskatoon. Apparently, cheering for wrestling would be something happening. So they just kind of said, and one guy screaming for Ruby Soho, but we'll get to that match later too. Just like would not
Mm.
stop screaming
It's
for
it's
Ruby
it's not
Soho.
it's not the Rough Riders, so no one
No, it's
cares.
yeah, you're right. It's not the Rough Riders exactly. CFL, that's something happening. But don't they play in Regina?
Yeah, but it's still like Saskatchewan, right? So
That's a good
everyone
point.
in
That's a good
Saskatchewan
point. I
loves
mean, you know, you watch Corner Gas,
them.
which by the way, I loved that show. But anyway, probably one of 10 people, but that's okay. I thought it was great. The anyway, we've totally derailed and digressed. But yeah, I loved this video. I absolutely loved it. This kid's 18.
He's 18 years
He's
old. That's what I
18
said.
and he did a video that I thought like when he was talking about his father passing
Mhm.
away and sitting on the apron stuff, I was like, wow, like I felt that, right? 'Cause to me, that actually had an emotional impact. I'm like, damn, right? And so I thought the video was really well done. I thought it was an excellent introduction to him, brief but
Brief,
good. And
yeah.
you're right, it pairs really well with Darby's video
Mhm.
from last week. Yeah, I think that the crowd was more into the Darby video last week, but that's because that crowd was better
Was better.
overall,
That was
right? I mean,
yeah,
Edmonton is
true.
definitely a better wrestling town than Saskatoon, unless Jericho comes in the ring and they want to
Yeah.
chant Y2J at him, right? So, But anyway, sorry, Saskatoon. I don't mean it like you. I'm sure you're a lovely place, and I really do want to see it one day. Um, but we then get Renee in the back with Adam Cole. But Adam Cole's rather distracted because he's on his telephone talking to what sounds like Britt Baker. And he's like, listen, she's clearly upset with him. He's trying to explain because guess Britt watches Dynamite. It's like, didn't know you were at the bar with all those women. But of course, if she'd watched it, she would have realized that Adam Cole did nothing.
Didn't do anything
At all.
exactly.
So I don't know why she's mad. He clearly just hung out at the bar while MJF went off with the 4 wrestlers. Britt could always challenge the 4 of them to matches.
Or
Anyway,
maybe she was upset that he's like friends with MGF now.
that could be too. Maybe, yeah. Anyway, Roderick Strong comes in though before, Renee and Adam can get much of a promo started. And he just says, you're not starting to like this guy, are you? And Cole says, hey, look, we didn't start off well, like meaning him and Roderick. And he goes, but now we're best friends. And then he gets a text from MJF saying, he just walked by Brian. He was talking about the double clothesline, and then he walked by Brian Cage in the back, and now he's sick. So Adam Cole has to go rescue him and get him back.
Funny. I just every time I see Roger Strong on screen, I'm like generic white guy. Right. So and he's still wearing his neck brace. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. No, this is funny. I just like anything like what I'm seeing now. So I didn't realize the match was gonna be right after this, but I was like, okay, what's gonna happen? Is Cole gonna find MJF? Is MJF gonna show up? And then the match starts. But go ahead. You can.
Yes, no, the match started. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I like it. But you know what? I kind of like what's going on with Roderick Strong here, right? Because this could go any way with him. And it's actually giving him like a bit of background, like, buddy of Adam Cole. He gets brought in as Adam Cole's buddy, generic white guy. But this is almost moving him in a direction where you can start to define kind of a separate personality, which isn't a bad idea because the audience associates him as Adam Cole's sidekick.
Friend. Yeah.
Yes. Like that guy in Undisputed Era who, didn't do much. So
true.
It would be nice if he can move past that because he's very good in the ring. Anyway, we then get, as you pointed out, MJF and Adam Cole taking on Brian Cage and Big Bill in the Blind Eliminator Tag Tournament semifinals. The winner of this will go on to face Sammy and Daniel Garcia. Cole is wearing the shirt. MJF's elbow pad says double clothesline on it. And then MJF steals Psycho Mike's gimmick and calls Who Wants to See a Body Slam and tries to go for the body slam. And I'm like, really, MJF? Because MJF knows who Psycho Mike is.
He does. He definitely does. And part of me thinks it's a tribute to Mike, actually.
Tribute
right?
Without anyone knowing who the guy is.
Well, I mean, we know who he is. So
yeah, but I'm not so sure a lot of people know who he is, right? I'm gonna bet the crowd in Saskatoon probably didn't know who he was, right? But anyway, I hope it was a well-meaning tribute, but man, he stole that. And then we get a lot of shenanigans to start the match until Big Bill baits MJF into push-ups and beats him down because MJF, as Tony Schiavone rightly says, is an idiot. And this starts Cage and Bill beating down MJF in their corner for a long time, sometimes with the assistance of Prince Nana, and it's a hell of a beatdown. They beat the crap out of MJF. Tony points out that Nana needs to keep this tag team together even if they lose, and basically saying Big Bill should be joining the Mogul affiliates.
Agreed.
Yes.
100% agreed.
Yep. But Bill rips up MJF's t-shirt, and this enrages MJF. He bites his hand, hits the body slam, much to the happiness of the crowd, allowing MJF to hit the hot tag shortly after, but both Bill and Cage hit double clotheslines. Cage tosses both guys at the same time, but Cole hits Cage with a super kick on the apron. MJF hits the heat seeker Cole the boom, and they get the 3.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. I like this match. Listen, in any other day, like obviously, like when you see Big Bill, like in size comparison against Adam Cole and MJF, my God, this guy is huge. And then obviously you add Brian Cage to that, and there's like you guys couldn't win this match in real life. Let's be real here. But yeah, no, this I had fun with it. Like it is exactly what I thought it was going to be, and that's why it landed in my number three spot. Yeah, number three spot, because I was like, yeah, it is what it is. I had fun with it. I do think like it's when you watch all of MJF's actions, if anyone believes that he's actually like a face, you're like, come on, he's acting so overly ridiculous. Like the entire entrance and everything, like how happy he is, and how I'm like, oh man, he's doing it perfectly. I'm not gonna lie, he's actually doing it very well. But I'm like, I see where this is going, and I really do hope they stick around, like they stick together for a while, and then the turn happens. But I see where this is going, and
Right.
I'm just hoping it's not like I do feel the Jack Perry turn happened really quick, right? I just hope they don't do that, right? So
Hmm.
I want the rest of the summer of you know uh MJF and Adam Cole
Better than you, baby.
better than you, baby. I want the rest of the summer as better than you, baby.
Okay. I think you're gonna get it.
I hope so.
Because I think they're on to gold here. They want to sell those shirts, right? Man, do
Hmm.
they shill those shirts. So
Hmm.
I think they're trying to sell lots of them. But yeah, you know, I judge matches on the match
Hmm.
most of the time, right? Like storytelling in the match plays a big part, emotion in the match can play a big part. I love these guys together as a tag team. This wasn't much of a wrestling
No,
match.
definitely wasn't.
The big guys threw him around for a while. There's a couple impressive spots. That's good. I mean, I enjoyed the spots. I did not hate this. It was
Hmm.
entertaining, but it wasn't much of a wrestling match. I mean, it was really basic. I mean, the
Yeah.
shenanigans started. I'm like, would MJF really fall for that? Like, really, really? Is he really that dumb? He's going to do push ups in front of Big Bill. He lets Big Bill goad him into push ups. I'm like, the body slam spot, that kind of, I'm like, that just, it bothered me. It really did. I'm like, I hope that was just a tribute. I hope something comes out of that, but it bugged me. Um, so yeah, this ended up my number five spot. Not because I hated it. I did not hate it. I just didn't think it was much of a wrestling match. I mean, the best stuff came out of Big Bill and Brian Cage,
Hmm. Definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, the ending was just there. It was like, okay, we hit our little series of three moves and we pinned, but they barely did a damn
Hmm.
thing for the whole match, right? Like they hit nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam Cole had a bit right out of the gate, and then they hit nothing, and then they hit a couple moves and won. Okay, fine. Number five. They get mics though. And MJF's like, we're over. And he tells Adam Cole, do the thing. So Cole does the thing. And MJF's like, that's cool. So is our shirts. We'll get our double clothesline. And they actually get a double clothesline chant. Cole says it's story time, but he never expected this tag team to work. But he has high expectations on winning the tournament. But why stop there? Let's get the titles. If we stay on the same page, we'll win. They do their catchphrase. And Roderick Strong looks on in the back, annoyed.
I hope they do win the belt. I really do. I really hope they win the belts, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. You know what's gonna happen when the belts are an acclaimed better than you feud, and it's just gonna be all sports entertainment all the time.
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so. The claims are trios right now, so they can
This
really
is
do it.
true. This is true. But what if they add Roderick Strong?
No, 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 no.
Then we have Renee in the back again. This time she's at Jericho's locker room, and Jake Hager is out front. And she says to Jake, there's big implications for what's going on for the JAS with this Jericho stuff. And Jake's like, he knows we're coming. Let's go in. And he tells Jericho, you're not really considering joining Don Callis, are you? And Jericho's like, maybe. That stuff about, the thrill seekers was pretty convincing because I need time. Jake's like, listen, we have history too. 10 years ago, I saved your life in Abu Dhabi. 4 years ago, I left an undefeated MMA career because you asked me to. This isn't just your career, it's mine too. Until you can be straight with me, I can't give you 100. And he hands back the hat.
The hat. No, this is good. I like this. This is because we're all saying what's happening with the Jericho Appreciation Society, right? So yeah, no, I liked it. I thought this was good.
And Jake Hager fades away into obscurity.
As usual, yeah.
Yep. Sorry, Jake. But in this bloated roster, you barely wrestled as it is.
Hmm.
Nice knowing you. Then we get Ruby Soho taking on Skye Blue in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Semifinals. And this is where we get more proof that the Saskatoon crowd is totally quiet because they barely reacted to Skye Blue's entrance at all.
They didn't, yeah.
Yes. The early, which I thought was quite unfortunate. The early story was Skye getting the advantage and Ruby trying to use the numbers game. She sends Ruby face first into the apron and a really good hit. So it looks like she's out on top, but then Tony threw her into the steps knee first. The ref tosses the outcast away, but damage done. Her knee is damaged from hitting the steps, and Ruby relentlessly works that knee over on the outside and then inside the ring. Skye is starting to get chants from the crowd at this point, so that tactic works. Every time Skye tries to come back, though, Ruby targets the knee. When she tries some offense, her knee buckles. At one point, Skye goes for the code blue, but Ruby reverses into a single leg crab. A screaming Skye manages to make it to the ropes. This gets a loud Ruby sucks chant. Skye manages to hit, except from the one guy at ringside that kept screaming for her. Skye manages to hit a slam, but her leg doesn't let her cover her properly. Skye goes up the ropes, but Ruby catches her. It's the destination unknown for 3. And that was the end of the match.
Yeah, I want Ruby Soho to win this tournament. Like, I mean, I think she should win it. I was looking over the other bracket, and I'm like, man, don't give it to like Willow. This is gonna be ridiculous. But I wanted to win. I like the fact that she played up the whole broken nose, because when she got hit like that move, I was like, oh, interesting. They're playing up the broken nose, and then she kind of catches her and gives her the no future off top
No
rope.
future, sorry, not the
Right.
destination unknown.
Yeah.
My bad.
So I like that. I thought this match was good. I mean, I just listed it as number 5. I mean, it's nothing wrong with these matches tonight. Um, but yeah, I thought that the crowd was a little bit dead throughout. But I thought Ruby wrestled a solid match. I thought Skye Blue looked great. And yeah, the shenanigans were not too much. I mean, though they got booted early, like the outcast, but the way the finish made sense to me. The
Right.
finish, I was like, yeah, this is what the outcast would do. They would cheat to win. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe I watched too much Stardom. Um, yeah, I liked this match a lot because I thought Skye Blue put on a hell of a performance in the underdog role here. Like she played
Yeah.
it very well. Like selling the knee, she sold that knee really well. Even when she went to do moves on it, she always went back to it. She collapsed on it more than once, right? It fit into the finish. It's like she sold that knee like a freaking champ, right? And I mean, that's like the biggest thing you can do as a wrestler.
Mhm.
Learn to freaking sell, right? And Ruby worked that knee over like crazy. And, I love that style of wrestling, right? Like body part targeting, story. The only issue I had with it is when you tell a story like that, from my point of view, is that the story gets weakened a little bit if the person who is beaten down to the level that Skye Blue was beaten down also loses the match, right? Now, if you're going to have her lose the match, she should get in a lot more before the end of the match, right? Like, yeah, it's her. Like, for example, let me take you back to my match of the week from last week, right? Tam Nakano taking on Mirai, right? Mirai is working that arm over after she gets it in the Miramari, the Kimura hole, for quite a while, right? Tam is hitting big moves still, but the arm isn't letting her pin, right? Now I realize Skye Blue is not. I'm not gonna, but like that's the way. If you're gonna have the person lose and you got them in an underdog position, that's the way to do it, right? I was a little bit through. Maybe I'm just biased because I watched too much Stardom. I don't know. I'm used to these kind of selling matches ending a little differently. Um, but I'm not going to detract from it. Skye Blue did a hell of a
She
job
did.
here. This is one of the best matches I've seen her wrestle. Period. Ruby Soho is like phenomenal in the
She's
ring.
great.
If
She's
anyone
great.
has any doubts of that, watch this match back.
Mm-hmm.
This was really good stuff for both of these women. Skye Blue needs to be a little less hesitant going into the ropes. It's like
Mm-hmm.
she's a little bit scared when she has to run into the ropes without a person against them. But because she always kind of pulls up a little, and I'm like, no, just hit the ropes. Go to Japan for a few months or something, man. They'll whip you up. Um, but other than that, no, I enjoyed this match a lot. Skye Blue was great. Ruby Soho was great. My number 3 match.
Cool.
Yep, it got brought down a little because I wanted a little more offense out of Sky Blue
Sky Blue.
and a little more, I just think that it's kind of the wrong way to handle Sky Blue because I really don't know what the hell you do with her now. She got her ass absolutely handed to her and
Yeah.
fought her ass off to try to keep herself in the match. Great job, but she really got beat bad. I mean, it kind of put her in a certain slot, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how I felt. We get a recap of Collision. And then the QTV world premiere. We get the rap class by Harley Cameron, featuring Harley Cameron, who used to be Mariah May of Club Venus's fame, tag team partner. They were a tag team called Sirens Fury at one point. And there was a rap video.
Yeah. No, she did a good job. I thought it was gonna be more of a like they were really trying to showcase her because she was terrible, like absolutely terrible. But she was not. And I was like, oh, they actually are trying to get her to sing on here. So I was like, so are they trying to say she's better than Max Caster? Is that what they're trying to say here? Because I didn't know what they were going for exactly. So she made a rap video. Is it to have a rap battle with the Acclaimed? I'm just confused. I just don't understand what's going on. So yeah, I thought she was fine. But I mean, I don't know what they're doing exactly.
Right. I think if you and I were both like 25 years old, we might understand better what they're doing. But
Yeah, maybe
I'm like, yeah, it looks like a rap battle to me, I guess. She did pretty well.
she did.
You know why? She also sings.
She can sing. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that's not so bad, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I when I see her now, all I can think of is I can see how she would be in a tag team with Mariah May. Like they would be perfect together, right? Like absolutely perfect. So yeah, so now she just needs to go join Club Venus, leave AEW, go join Club Venus. I want to see you guys back together as a tag team. But then again, Rose Gold, right? So anyway, that was QTV. Oh, by the way, she's a better rapper than Max Caster. Just saying.
She was great, actually.
Yeah. Although her lip syncing in the video
Was
sucked. Oh
off.
my
That was
God,
off.
was
Yeah.
she off?
Yeah.
Anyway, Swerve Strickland versus Nick Wayne. Darby brings Nick out. Nick's mom is at ringside. He
Mhm.
turned 18 2 days ago. So they go back and forth to start, but counter each other on everything until Wayne hits a Hurricane Rana and a Fisherman Suplex. He takes Swerve off the apron to the floor with a Hurricane Rana, but Swerve catches him with a big right and takes over. Back in the ring, Swerve catches him with a kick in the ring, sending him through the ropes where he hangs up by his feet, kind of backwards. It's hard to
Mhm.
describe. You got to see this spot. Swerve hits him then with a reverse hanging DDT to the floor, which was just vicious. Nick comes back in with a shotgun drop kick and over the top rope reverse DDT. Swerve catches him off the rope into two torture rack backbreakers for a
Mhm.
near fall. Swerve puts Wayne on the turnbuckle, but Darby comes to the ramp at this point to cheer him on, and Wayne hits an avalanche poison Rana and then
Yeah.
the Wayne's World, but Swerve gets his foot on the ropes. He had
Mhm.
him dead to rights. Wayne then goes for an avalanche Hurricane Rana, but Swerve turns it into a power bomb, hits the Swerve kick, and Wayne kicks out. Swerve then stomps Nick's wrenched back arm, staring at Darby Allin, and nails the JML driver for the 3.
This was a great match and well put together by Swerve and Wayne. This was smartly booked by putting Wayne with Swerve because Swerve is such a professional. This guy, my God, like I see like as I watch Nick Wayne, and I'm like, are we seeing the next Will Ospreay in the making right now? Like if you look at his manners, if you look at what he does and stuff like that, I'm like this guy literally like Will must be his like he must be Will's fan because his move set is so similar to Will Ospreay. Everything he's doing, and I'm like, are we seeing the next Will Ospreay? Like, yeah, you look at him, you're like, okay, he doesn't have the man muscle yet. He's still an 18
He's
year old kid,
18.
right?
Yeah,
Like, so
exactly.
when he puts on like 10 years from now, are we gonna look back and say, wow, this he really is the next Will Ospreay, right?
Mm.
Which is again a major compliment to like then that basically mean he's the next star, right? Like just watching him work, all I could think was, your first time on TV, I feel the nerves for you, I feel
Right.
it, right? And there were some points where I'm like, like he didn't mess up, but you're like that could have been a little bit more crisper, but your first time on TV. I thought when Swerve broke the arm and he reached out towards like Darby, because I forgot Darby was there. I was like, this is perfect. This is
Yep.
perfect, right? This, oh, I love it, because like you see Darby on the ramp and he doesn't want to interfere at all. He's just
Hmm.
sitting there. He wants to give Wayne the chance to do it on his own. But this is the kid he's looked after, right? Since he was
Yep.
like a kid himself, and he's still a kid. Um, so I thought this is perfect. You've totally set up a Darby and Swerve angle here, and
Hmm.
I didn't even think that was going to be something. With Wayne, right? With Wayne, so Wayne's going to get a win on Swerve eventually. We both said like I was like yeah, Wayne's. We were both like Wayne's going to win. There's no way Wayne loses, and then Wayne loses,
Hmm.
and he loses clean,
Right.
right? That, oh my god, that power bomb scared me, because I'm like, the way he hit, I was like, oh, that was off the top rope, and he barely got him to the power bomb. I was like, you could see Swerve trying to like help him into the power bomb thing. I was like, luckily he's fine. Luckily he's good. Um, but man, like when Swerve beat him down at the end, holy crap! Kicks him in the head, breaks the arm, and then I'm like, okay, stop. He's already dead. Leave him alone, right?
He's
Like,
already dead. Well, even the
no,
ref was going, he's saying he's hurt. He's saying he's hurt.
he's saying he's hurt.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's it, right? I really did want Wayne to win, but it doesn't make him weak in any way, right?
Well,
He's
no, because
he's
he did win at one point, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
he
it was
won,
just the
and
foot on the
the foot,
ropes.
the
Yeah.
foot. And watching that, like I'm like, this is cool. Like we were seeing the future of AEW, or who knows, of wrestling, right?
Yep.
Right now, right before our eyes. And every time this guy pulled off a move, I'm like, you just remind me of Will Ospreay. You are literally just reminding me of Will Ospreay, right? And hey, if we can't get Will Ospreay to AEW, then at least we're gonna have someone who's going to be the next Will Ospreay,
Will
right? So
Ospreay's kid brother. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So and even the way he combs his hair and everything, you're like, are you sure you're not trying to be Will Ospreay here? Like everything about you, dude. I liked it. I really did like this match. Again, my number one match.
Right.
Uh, uh, smart move by putting him against Swerve. Kudos again to Swerve for everything he did in this match, and amazing showing by Wayne.
Yep.
Remember, we've seen Wayne versus
Hmm.
what's his name? My God,
Will Ospreay.
Will. That match was insane,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
So like this match was great as well, but it wasn't that match.
No.
But yeah, no, I had fun with this match. I thought this was a great showing, first coming of like this new guy. So great signing by AEW. This is great.
Yep. And at one point, Will Ospreay did have this to say very recently when he heard that Nick Wayne would be debuting in July. He said, "I have high hopes for him. My number one piece of advice would be don't be scared to evolve. And to his critics, allow him to be a young man in wrestling. Let him grow, find himself. I have an eye for these guys, and I'm hardly wrong about this."
Oh,
Yep.
there you go.
Yep. No, Will Ospreay really likes this kid. So probably because the kid,
He's
the
awesome.
kid
That's
is
why.
Mini Ospreay.
Will
Exactly.
also is like, man, I really like this kid for some reason. I just can't put my finger on it.
Exactly. He just seems so awesome.
He's so amazing. Like everything about him just amazing.
Exactly. It's little Will. Dude, his finishing move is called Wayne's World.
I love it. I love
Me
it.
too. I was like, that is the
Part
greatest
part of
name
me
for a
was like,
finishing
are
move.
you even old enough to know what that
I know.
is? But
I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, you're 18, kid. Do
I
you know
wouldn't
Wayne's World?
I
Name three scenes.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Wayne's World was his dad's favorite movie or something like that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
probably.
be surprised, right? So just
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's yeah. And for those of you who hadn't seen it, absolute classic. Please go
Yeah.
watch it. Mike Myers' best movie in the entire universe, including all the Austin Powers movies. Anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, my thoughts on this match. So this was your match of the night.
Oh, yeah.
It was also my match of the night. I really enjoyed this match a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Wayne looked excellent. You're right. He's young.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna get better.
Yep.
Things aren't quite as crisp as they will be when he gets older.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Also, dare we say there might have been some first night jitters, wanting
Oh
everything to
yeah,
go
100%.
perfectly.
Yeah.
He's young, right? And at this age, he's already pulling this off. Like, Holy crap. Guy's amazing. I mean, we knew he was amazing when we saw him against Osprey. We knew he was amazing when he's been doing all the stuff he's been doing in Defy, right? What a night for Defy. Darby Allin, Swerve Strickland, and McQueen
McQueen.
are pulling off the final match of the night, right? Like it's wow. Anyway, so yeah, some damn good wrestling coming out of the Seattle area. Who would have thunk it 10 years ago? I'm sure they did. Well, there we go. Willow seems to be better though. Willow Nightingale, because she'll be on Rampage versus Athena in the other semifinal that we couldn't remember who was in it earlier.
Yeah.
So it's Willow Nightingale versus Athena, and I'm glad that Willow has recovered. It must have been a minor injury, but it kept her out last week. Glad she's okay. They show where Lance Archer has been. I loved this video.
Mm-hmm.
As they show him in Rev Pro, they show him in New Japan, including his tag team with Alex Zane. Alex Zane being the pink-haired guy that was on the floor there. Yep. You know what their tag team was called?
What?
And hopefully still is, because I hope they give it Murder Sauce. Because Alex Zane is the sauce.
The sauce, okay.
The sauce, yes. And well, the Murder Hawk Monster. Murder Sauce. Great name for a team. Love it. Anyway, welcome back, Lance. We love you.
Mm-hmm.
Don Callis comes out now for the final segment of the night to his industrial fan again. He gets in the ring and he acts like the crowd should be booing him, but they're only kind of half booing him. And he goes, because it's Saskatoon. He goes, I'm here to announce the fifth member. And he says, this fifth member is going to slaughter the elite. There's no one more deserving of this abuse than Kenny Omega. I know the real Kenny. He's a coward and a punk. And of course, Battle Cry hits.
Mm-hmm.
Krishna, you are the biggest Kenny Omega fan I know. I need you to explain some psychology of Kenny Omega to me right now, because I didn't get it. Why was he shirtless?
Well, you got to show off. You got to, Bill, it's summertime. Sun's out, guns out. All right. Why, if you had a body like Kenny Omega, let me ask you a question. If you had a body like Kenny Omega, would you wear a shirt ever?
Yes. I like shirts.
Bill would just be doing his afternoon walks topless all the time, right?
No, I wouldn't, because I would burn to a small cinder. So yes, I would wear a shirt.
My assumption of Kenny Omega is just he's always working out in the back room. So every time he hears people calling, he's like, hey, I'm in the middle of a rep here, man. Come on. Right. And if you watch Being the Elite, you'll see them before they go out to like fight. They're always like, Kenny's always in the back room doing push-ups or something like that, popping up. So my assumption is just back there doing push-ups for some odd reason.
Then he heard that this was going on and came running out.
Then he heard Don Callis insulting him. He's like, Don, if you say one more bad thing about me, just one more bad thing, I'm coming out there.
Right. So it wasn't that the air conditioning in the SaskTel Center was broken.
Maybe it was super hot in there. Who knows, right?
Okay, I had to ask. I had to ask because I saw that. I'm like, why are you not wearing a shirt?
Shirts, yeah.
Yeah, like you weren't even wrestling tonight. Why are you in like gear at all?
But like, well, he's wearing shorts. Right? Do you remember?
He didn't have his trunks on.
What date? I forget what but where it was. But another time, and I'm pretty sure it was either Blackpool Combat Club where he came out for the rescue, and he was only wearing his jeans. Again, where was Kenny Omega's shirt? Right.
That's a very good point. The dude doesn't own shirts.
He doesn't own shirts. Yeah.
He doesn't like to push his merch. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Mox and Takeshita jump Kenny, and then Pac, Krishna called it. Pac nails Kenny with a chair.
Mm-hmm.
And they let Callis get a cheap shot on him. Pac gets a mic, and I forgot how much I love Pac.
Mm.
Kenneth. Kenneth. I love it. He calls him Kenneth. You have no idea how long I've waited for this. You shattered my nose. You extorted me from my championship. I'm the fifth member, and now you pay the price. And Mox is like, any last words for your kid? They wrap a chair around his neck, and they're like, any last words for your Canadian friends before the smile is ripped off your face permanently? And Kenny just says, we have a fifth member too. Check the screen. Okay, here's what I don't get. Why didn't he just jump off the top rope? Like they set him up. Why didn't they just hit the move then? Like, there's a screen. The screen distracts us all. Ooh.
The wrestlers get distracted by everything.
You're right. Wrestlers all have ADD, and bright shiny things or quick distractions distract them all. You are correct. It's Kota Ibushi. He is going to be there as part of the Golden Elite. And at that moment, Kenny hides behind the Young Buck skirt as the Elite makes the save.
Yep.
And Hangman hits a double buckshot lariat, much to the chagrin of Adam Cole and MJF in the back. And they're like, damn it.
It's like, God damn it, Hangman.
And Hangman gets a mic. And he says, Wednesday, we finish this once and for all. And Kenny, though, gets him like, and he says, it's about more than your kill jitsu. I'm like, dude, it's death jitsu. It's about heart, soul, friendship, and love. People who live in rage like you never prosper. Barbed wire and skewers are nothing compared to what we will do with you. And when I'm done with you, then I come for Dawn. Goodbye. Good night. Bang.
Yeah,
And
I had fun. I had fun with this. Yeah, the whole Kenny, why'd you go out by yourself? Where were the Young Bucks? Were you just waiting for you to get jumped and then coming out? Um, the Pac thing, Pac showing up. Like it was funny because when the camera panned, you saw Pac sneaking up with the chair. Um, interesting fact. Don Callis didn't announce who the fifth member was. Just FYI, he never said who the fifth member was.
but Pac said he was.
Pac said, "I'm the fifth member." Don Callis didn't announce it, so that's why
That's
I'm
quite
still
true.
100% thinking Kota, and this is why. Remember in The Simpsons? Again, I always go back to this. Remember in The Simpsons for the McBain movie where the guy was like, "I'm about to retire tomorrow," and he shows his ship, and it's the Never Die, and then he reaches over and he gets like just murdered because it was his last day and all that stuff.
Yep.
Kenny calling out that it's all about family and this
Mhm.
is what you have. I'm like, oh my God, Kota is fully turning on you in that match because I'm strongly believe at the end of that match, Don Callis is going to be like the person I was bringing in is Kota Ibushi, and you fell for it,
Yep.
right?
That could be
So
true. We'll have to see how the match
we'll
goes while it's
see.
going on,
We
right?
will
Because
see. We
we'll have to see how much the BCC side beats down Kota
Kota,
Ibushi, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be very, very
but
interesting next week.
regardless, Kota Ibushi,
Yep.
AEW. There we
Yep.
go.
That's
There
pretty
we
darn
go.
great.
Yeah. Pac
Yeah.
back. Like we knew Pac was coming back because something had to happen before Wembley, right? He's
Right.
obviously fighting at Wembley.
Yes.
So this is great. Get Pac back, get him wrestling, get him into a feud with somebody, have him wrestle at Wembley.
Right.
You're gonna draw more. You're just drawing more people. You haven't announced any matches at Wembley, and you've sold what, like 80,000
70.
tickets,
Yeah,
70 something thousand tickets.
it's insane. What if Kota doesn't turn
Mhm.
and the match they're going for at Wembley is Kota Ibushi and Pac?
Oh, I never thought about Kota Ibushi versus Pac. Okay. Then who would you? Oh, you're thinking that Kenny and Will are gonna fight again at Wembley?
Of course.
Okay, so then if that's the case, then you're right. I think a great alternate match would be Kota versus Pac. I totally agree with that.
And Nick
Um,
Wayne would just be sitting there at ringside staring and taking notes.
yeah. It's like, oh my God. Because, well, Pac is so perfect. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Does this guy ever mess up anything? Like, let's be real
No.
here. Yeah. So WWE, what the hell were you thinking? But
The
but
cruiserweight division, man. Cruiserweight division. That's what they were
God,
thinking with I remember it wasn't W. Could you imagine what they probably do with them now?
205 Live.
Yeah.
They
I
would
mean,
who knows? And anyways,
I
you know
think
what?
I think no, I think he'd probably be doing okay now, right? I mean, like they're not throwing people away like they used to.
No,
So
well, because the people they throw away evolved, and now they're like, oh wait, you guys can do this. All right, we'll just copy that, right?
yeah.
So Pac will never go back there. But no, Pac being
Never
back,
say
that's
never.
true. Well, listen, if we're gonna talk about Cody Rhodes, like he doesn't count, okay? But I mean, like, I'm just again this entire setup,
Mhm.
great. The Golden Elites are back together.
Yep.
This is interesting. Versus Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club and Takeshita. This is gonna be great. Like, oof, this is gonna be hard hitting. Like Pac and Takeshita and Ball and Moxley and Claudio and they just it's so hard, right?
Yep.
So I'm very curious how this match at Blood and Guts is gonna play out. But again, hey, they said it ends at Blood and Guts. So this
Yep.
feud is going to be finished. So
Yep.
that's what's telling me something has to happen out of this feud that's going to drive other storylines, right? So,
Right. And let's not gloss over the fact that I really hope Pac
mhm.
is part of the Don Callis family.
Oh, but then I
Because
want to. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
because can you imagine him on the same team with like
That's Don Callis and Takeshita.
Takeshita and like Kota Ibushi?
Oh, that would be no, that would be amazing. So I thought about the same thing. I thought about the exact same thing, and I thought, okay, so let's say Kota Ibushi is undercover here,
Mm-hmm.
and he is part of Don Callis' family, and Pac is
Mm-hmm.
there, and
Mm-hmm.
Takeshita are there. Is the main goal of this family to destroy Kenny Omega to bring him over to that side? Because then Kenny with Pac and see, I can see Kenny with
Mm-hmm.
Takeshita and Ibushi, but just Kenny with Pac seems odd. You know what I mean? It's like those two are
Mm-hmm.
just like mortal enemies that need to be mortal enemies
But
forever.
this is why I'm not so sure that the goal is to bring Kenny over. The
Yeah,
goal is
I don't know.
actually to destroy
Destroy him.
Kenny. So that's why I think that taking Ibushi will help destroy
Oh,
Kenny.
100%.
So
100%
this is why I think we actually are seeing the formation of that family of all these people who have an axe to grind
with Kenny Omega.
with Kenny, right? And plus, that adds Pac in there, and Pac can do a lot of the talking.
That's true.
He's
Or Callis.
really good on the mic. Well, Callis is great, but I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gonna have someone cut like that, almost mock style, bastard, vicious promo, Pac's your guy to do
Pac.
it.
Yeah.
He's great on the mic.
Kenneth, you broke my nose. You took away my
Kenneth,
you
Kenneth.
took away my championship. Yeah. I love it. He
Yep.
holds a grudge.
Yep. And he just sounds like such a bastard when he's talking, right? Like it's just so good. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed this end segment. I was so happy to see Pac back. I was expecting Kota Ibushi. So like it was
Mhm.
almost like, yeah, we know he's coming. That's great. Thanks
Mhm.
for the vid. Um, it was just some confirmation, right? But Pac back, that was great. So that was kind of like my big moment out of that end
Mhm.
segment was Pac being back.
Mhm.
So
I was
and we're
like, oh my
getting
God, I'm Nostradamus here. I'm
I
predicting.
know. And it was pretty because him in that match, I'm like, holy crap, that's gonna be awesome. He's
Yeah.
brutal. But anyway,
He's oof.
yep. So that was Dynamite. Did anything on the show reach the Omega level?
I don't think anything reached the Omega level today. There were some really, really great segments, but I don't think anything Omega level today.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. There was nothing Omega level. I enjoyed Pac showing up. I
Mhm.
enjoyed Sky Blue's selling performance. I enjoyed the matches. It was a good
Yeah.
show. I
Nick
had a
Wayne was
good
great.
time. Yep,
Nick Wayne was great. So
good time. Yep. But that was it. Well, with that, then we will go out just like Dynamite did tonight. Because as the great one always says, even after a chair has been wrapped around
mhm.
his neck, even if he can't find his shirt, goodbye, everybody. Mwah. And good night, bang.
Good night, everyone.